reason people move here basically is because of the pristine nature of the environment. You have beautiful white sand beaches, you have untouched marshland, you have just places where you can go like Masonboro Island, and you can go across a waterway and be gone from people and only see one or two people for an entire weekend. And to people, and to myself particularly, that's really important.
Coastal Wilmington, North Carolina has grown fast, nearly doubling in just 15 years. Growth so explosive, an antiquated sewage system has been crumbling under the weight of it.
They weren't doing the proper routine maintenance that needs to be done on any infrastructure. It had been neglected for 50 years. So they didn't have the money to do, or they didn't use the money properly to repair what the problems we had, but also just to find out the full scope and breadth of the problem. The full scope and breadth was an entire system that was antiquated and doomed to failure. And everybody in the citizens were walking around on eggshells waiting for that next giant break and pollution of our waterways. The main problem was what's called the Northeast Interceptor. It was, I really can't recall when it was put in the ground, but it was feeding, supplying the sewer system for all of the down east, Riceville Beach, all the coastal areas east of Wilmington.
Tonight, 3 sewage spills leaked 12,000 gallons of raw sewage into Bradley Creek.
For decades, sewage pipes would break and spill, break and spill. Sometimes millions of gallons of raw human waste poured into mainland creeks, seeped into coastal waters, and bathed visitors and locals alike.
Well, the Coastal Federation, other environmental groups, and just citizens like citizens along Hewlett's Creek and Bradley Creek right over here in the waterway, they found out they had been swimming in waters that there was a current sewer leak and weren't notified. When the notification was made, there was no signs put up. It was just in the paper or the radio. So, people coming down here for vacation, they're not paying attention to the legal notices in the newspaper. They want to go out in the water, ski, swim. Some of our staff people were in the water when a 50,000 gallon leak at Hewlett's Creek was ongoing. No notification.
The main problem? The sewage pipes are worn out, eaten away from the inside by sulfuric acid, oxidized from hydrogen sulfide that forms naturally from shuttling sewage. As a result, today the pipes are old and shot through with holes. And in the summer, when the tourists crowd the coastal areas, the system falls apart.
2006, we had what we called, again, the July 4th, the July sewer spill at Hewlett's Creek. Thousands of gallons being from just poor maintenance, a break in the sewer line. Then about 3 weeks later, we had a huge leak on a break in a sewer main on the Cape Fear River, which was a contractor's fault.
Sick of swimming in sewage, the local chapters of the North Carolina Coastal Federation and Surfrider Foundation went into action.
We worked on some really key campaign strategies at this point. The first one was a petition, like an online petition, and we had, I can't remember the numbers off of the top of my head because it's happened a little while ago now, but it was a very substantial number of residents in New Hanover County that signed this petition. We took all those names and signatures and we started generating letters, not only to the local city governments, but to our congressmen, our state senate. We took it all the way to the governor, and then when we weren't satisfied with that, we started a letter writing campaign to the Environmental Protection Agency.
The Division of Water Quality with the state, who is right here, we have an office here in Wilmington, had not pushed the city to undergo a standing order of consent. We pushed them real hard. Then we contacted the EPA Region 4 in Atlanta. They came up and, raised the big stick.
State and federal authorities threatened multi-million-dollar fines and even criminal action, and treatment officials went to work. But how did it get so bad that bureaucrats almost went to jail?
What it was all about was years of neglect. Out of sight, out of mind, you can't smell it, keeping the tax base low and keeping politicians elected.
For decades, Cape Fear officials treated raw sewage more for odor than for corrosion by injecting highly concentrated hydrogen peroxide, a chemical now used routinely by terrorists to make deadly bombs. The Cape Fear Utilities Authority refused to be interviewed for this video, but they are clearly working on the problem. Construction is going on everywhere. But documents we obtained showed that the authority is testing another troublesome solution to cut the smell and slow degradation of the pipes. For 45 days in 2008, they injected anthraquinone, a proven carcinogen, into the sewage. The deadly chemical eventually ends up in the water table again, potentially poisoning the area's population and wildlife.
You have really great recreational fishing here. You have water sports here, a lot of wakeboarders, a lot of stand-up paddleboarders. You have people who like to dive and spearfish here. You have backwater fishing, fly fishing, surf fishing. You name it, it's here. If you're looking for a pristine coastal environment to live in, the Cape Fear region definitely offers that. You're able to go ahead and affect positive change when you do solid research and you get the right people involved and you go out and you educate others about what's going on, because there's power in the mass.
For Reasonable Shade of Green, this is Michael Caputo in Cape Fear, North Carolina.